Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
This is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, does the FBI find people? The people's misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E. Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Storm's picking up over there. It's got some wind over the mountains. Still a balmy 72 degrees here inside where I sit at Mission Control at the Airbnb, home away from home. Welcome, everybody. Please come in. Please come in. Take your seats. All right, we have... Okay, the seats are working. There we go. We have Jennifer Juniper, who was first in chat today. Jennifer, congratulations. First in chat. Comes with a prize, punishment, penalty, however you want to view it. For your diligence, for your efforts, for your, I guess, for your success, if you were trying to do this, in being first in chat, we're going to punish you by sentencing you to internet ownership, which means you have to fix everyone else's internet problems worldwide. Good luck. Just keep it up for the rest of us, and we're going to be fine. Congratulations, Jennifer Juniper. Great win this morning. I appreciate that. We are getting set for Robert Tellis. We're waiting for feeds from court. It's got a bit before it starts. It's got a bit, so we can talk it over and reminisce about the good times and the bad time. About the good time and the bad times. I think that's how it goes in this court case. It's been a little crazy. Currently on the stand, as we left court yesterday at the end of day, Robert Tellis has chosen to take the stand in his own defense. He's speaking his truth is what he's up there, and by agreement he is testifying in the narrative. Normally that would mean they get to tell their story, but we are seeing Robert Tellis testify in the narrative pro se. I don't know. He's calling the shots. He's asking for evidence. He's admitting evidence. He's laying foundation. He's doing it all. And you know, he does have some legal expertise because he is a lawyer. What kind of lawyer? What's the term? Probate? He's a probate lawyer. He deals with dead people's property. That's what he deals with. Not necessarily experienced when it comes to the criminal trial procedures, and you can see the whole hearsay thing. I think this is the first time he's ever heard the word. Maybe once on the lawyer's exam to pass the bar, but that's about it. So he's struggling with that a little bit. He's wanted to say what his piece, and when there's an objection that's sustained, he still wants to. Did I say sustained? Yeah, I did. When there's an objection sustained by the judge, he still wants to get it in, and he's frustrated. He's like, well, I'm the witness. I can say what I want. No, there are rules. There are rules, Mr. Tellis, and you have to follow them. But we're going to pick up where he left off. The good stuff is we're here now at the part of the trial where we've covered exhaustively yesterday his background with the office politics, with who didn't like who, with who was doing bad job. Compass Realty, oh my goodness, Compass Realty is clearly Compass Realty should be the one convicted for any crime in Las Vegas, apparently, according to Robert Tellis. But now he's got to the part where he's started to work in explanations for some of this mountain of evidence against him. And the way he just calmly told us that he cut his finger preparing lunches for his daughter because she doesn't like school lunch. And so he went on Google and he got a recipe and he was cutting chicken and he cut his finger. And then because he cut his finger, he had to get the super glue out, and the super glue, the tip was stuck. So he had to cut just the tip of the super glue jar off, or the bottle off. And he used scissors to do that. And in doing that, his finger was already cut. Some blood got on the scissors. He neglected to clean that up. He's been so good about cleaning up blood to this point. And then, anyway, that's super glue the finger, and he heals miraculously, like unbroken, in 5 days. That's why his finger was cut. Yes, it's suspicious. pure coincidence that a knife altercation occurred at the same time his finger got cut, or at least the same day. We've heard a lot about video that doesn't exist anymore. We didn't get to see anything about Planet Fitness, him checking in, whether he worked out, whether he just went straight to the showers and then left. We don't know. We have no clue. It's just left to our speculation. And well, thank you, Sharon. That is where you get your internet winner certificate. If you have one and you haven't claimed your certificate, that's where you go and you pay your fine of 50 cents, and then you can download it. I would make it free. I tried to make it free, but 50 cents is what they charge me to sell it to you. So this is a net zero sale for me. I do not make a penny off the internet certificates. YouTube does. Let's see. Make sure to have your drink of choice ready to sit through this narrative. I wonder if they're going to let him just free spool like they did yesterday, because he was all over the place. He was bringing up everything and so much. Oh, we'll get to that later. I'll put a pin in that. We're going to circle back and come to that. You'll hear this more when we talk about that. There's so many things that we're going to get to that we might have a few more days, maybe even a few more weeks left of trial at this rate. But he's probably still talking on the stand, explaining to the judge from yesterday. Oh, man, hope we and the jurors don't get more probate law lecture class. I'm curious if he gets rid of his lawyers today. What does he need them for at this point? Honestly, because I can tell you that whatever closing his lawyers are going to give or are planning on giving, it is not what Robert Tellis wants them to say. There is stuff he wants said in that closing that his lawyers will not or cannot legally say. I think today is the day we see Mr. Tellis go back to pro se full time. Like his own, handle it himself. Josh says, can I claim an internet ownership certificate even though I've never won, or is that a crime on top of another crime? It's only a crime if you get caught, Josh. And I honestly, I don't have a record of who orders. There's no way I can see who orders. So I'm basically saying you can get away with it, and no one will ever know. No one will ever know. But when it comes time for, say, like if you use it as a cover sheet on your resume, and you put me down as a reference, which you probably should do, assuming you don't want the job. And when they call, I'll go back through history and I'll say, yeah, he won the internet on, and I'm like, wait, did Josh ever win the internet? And I'll have to say to your potential employer in full candor, I think you got a liar here. He didn't win. No, just kidding. It's fine. You help yourself to the internet certificate. It's just on your conscience. That's it. Schmoopy is correct. All right, as soon as we get a feed from court, we're going to bring that to you, but it might be a few more minutes. It might be another hour. You never know. You never know how court works these days. Let me see if I can get this one ready, though. Search for the one we want. That's not it. That's also not it. I don't see it at all. Let me check the Twitter and see if anything is happening in the court as we're getting prepped for this. Maybe Vanessa Murphy might have some updates for us. Yesterday we heard that I am unequivocally innocent of killing Mr. Germain. Yeah, about that. Define unequivocally, because we're equivocal or equivocating. What is the proper term there, Red Pen? We have questions. Not seeing anything from court yet. Let me check Vanessa's stream. There she is. Oh, I hear jets. I hear jets outside. That's as high as I can go in the sky. I'm just not seeing them. I think they're right overhead. I wish I could show you these jets. They're beautiful. And they fly way, because of this, the whole speed of sound thing. They're flying like, you hear them, and they sound like they're there, but they're actually over here. So it's like 90-degree difference as they're circling around. The anybody counter, I'll get that on the screen right now. I've got 132 on the current count. You see it, well, you can't see it, but now you can. It's right here, 132. We'll have that up on the screen in just a moment when we're ready, which we're not, for the record. Getting more ready as we go. Okay, I'm not seeing any updates from Vanessa yet in court to see if the people have shown up. So we're probably just a little bit early. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Isn't the sky absolutely gorgeous? Check out these clouds. I mean, those are just beautiful. I love that. Let me see if I can make them a little prettier. No, I'm not editing. I'm just adjusting the. Oh, that makes it go away. That's the wrong button. Okay, so that's about the best I can do there. Turn down the brightness a tiny bit, and the shutter. There we go. That's about the best I can make it look. Let's see. Is every day no pants Friday when you're on vacation? I want to dress appropriately. Twubble, yes, you're correct. Every day is no pants. I rarely wear pants. Generally, if I'm wearing pants, it's because I have to go to court. So that's about how often I wear pants. As a matter of fact, or court or church, about the only time I wear pants at all. As a matter of fact, I probably need to buy another pair because I've got 3 days in a row in court, and I can't wear the same pants all 3 days. I need to change them and wash them because I'm not a heathen. Love the view. You miss it. The mountains already. It's crazy. Growing up, I grew up next to the mountains, literally at the foot of the mountains. Our house was just like right next to the hill, and spent all my time growing up on the mountains. And then when I traveled to England, I was scared to death that I would lose my way because there are no mountains. The country is relatively flat. And so I bought a watch that had a compass built in so it could tell me which way is north, south, east, or west. Unfortunately, nobody cares which way north, south, east, or west is in London. They all base everything based on, where the ring road is and the M25 and all these other things. And the compass was worthless. It did me no good. But love the blue spruce. That is a beautiful blue spruce, full grown. Judge said it was a 10:30 start, right? So it's 15 minutes until they're supposed to start, which means it could be 45 minutes or so before they actually start. The tree is happy. They are. I don't think this park, they must have some irrigation somewhere. Let's see. I mean, not in the court, but the trees look quite happy and content. That one's in our yard. This blue spruce, it's a little narrow. It hasn't filled up very much, but the top part is quite healthy. You're checking this guy out. I hope I do better when I'm in court running a PTZ than this. I mean, that's a healthy growth tip there at the top. It's looking good. All right. North circular or south circular? Well, misbehaving. What? I forgot already what I was talking about. What is this reference to? I'm surprised the estate of Bob Ross never tried to copyright Happy Little Trees. Oh, man. Could have made $1 billion. $1 billion. No accidents. They're just happy little accidents, right? Is that what they were? No mistakes, just happy little accidents. Oh, the circular. North circular, south circular on the road. Okay. That's what we're talking about. The ring road about London. Yes. Trees are happy they have not been listening to Mr. Tellis. Let's see if we can get, hoping for a feed here in just a moment so I can start getting everything synced up and get the audio working. Let's see. Nothing. Maybe our cameraman's late. That's a possibility too. M25, largest parking lot in the world, actually, the M25. You can be bumper to bumper in a full circle, 360 degrees. It's amazing. Crafty Grandma, when trimming trees in my junior year of high school, that top came off along with the sides, so they had a nice shape when they grew up. You've got experience trimming trees to get the proper shape. Congratulations on 14 months, by the way, Crafty Grandma. That's awesome. Let's see, the judge is always late. You're 100% right. I know a few things about shaping trees. Yes, I can make them into letters. Funny thing, I went back because I'm back, right? I'm back. I went back to my old house, and the two trees, if you know the story, I'll tell you just briefly, just the brief synopsis. I was doing my own business, minding my own business, living the best life, enjoying my property, and one day I got a note taped to my door from the code enforcement for the city, telling me that that my trees were in violation and that there had been a neighbor complaint. No one came and talked to me. Okay, I know all the neighbors. Nobody came and talked to me. They just made a complaint. It's like, why don't you just ask me? And they had a problem because these were fruit trees, and some of the fruit, the kids hit the tree with a stick, and some fruit falls out, and it was in the gutter. It's like a couple of apples, tiny little apples were in the gutter. So they're like, yeah, you can't have fruit falling in the gutter, and the trees can't overhang the road, the trees can't overhang the sidewalk, and all this. And so I'm like, okay, so I have to trim my trees. If you're looking at the house, I have to turn sideways and trim them to be as narrow as the park strip, right? This will pretty much kill the tree. I thought, if I'm going to kill these trees because the neighbors complain, I'm going to do it in style. I'm going to trim these trees into a message so that everyone who drives by will understand that I am just fed up with the whole code enforcement thing. So I trimmed the two trees. The first one I trimmed into an F, and the second one I trimmed into a U, and to show fed up. So if you look at the tree, it's just got FU written there in tree, but you have to be at the right angle to see it. Well, I took pictures of this to show I was in compliance. The county sheriff saw it, just about died laughing, texted me, said, that's the funniest thing I have ever seen. We then promptly, this was before I knew I was moving, we then promptly decided to sell the house. So the property pictures of the house have a big FU in the trees, fed up, in case you're curious, in the trees when you look at it from the street view. But if you're up close, you just can't tell. It just looks like the trees are a little, trimmed funny, not professionally. And so I went by the other day. The F tree has died. So F died, and the U is still beautiful. A big U. It's got the tree's branches, and it's got two main trunks that come up. You can tell it's still a U. So even though the F is gone, the U is still there. And the owners have no clue. Have no clue the history of their trees. So giant tuning fork. Yes. Anyway, I did go back and check that out just the other day, and I had to chuckle inside myself. The F tree, even though it's dead, they have not cut it down. I believe the F tree is still, like, the branches are there, but it's just dead. So long live the U. Yes. Karina, that's the first thing that came to my mind. But it was funny to call the code enforcement, have them come by and check, and have them acknowledge that, yes, from the street as they drove by, yes, in fact, you are in compliance, even though there's a big FU in front of your house. Anyway, just neighbors from now on, if there's something wrong, just let me know. I'll fix it. I would have cut down the trees for you in a heartbeat. If you said, hey, I have an allergy to that tree, I'll cut down my tree. I'm not that attached. Matter of fact, I'm a big fan of pruning most trees right around the base. I really am. I mean, I don't want to cut down these ones in the park, but when it comes to yard maintenance, trees are a hassle. You have to mow around them and everything else. It's no fun. So Anyway, you guys are not buying my explanation? What do you mean? What possibly? Yeah, no, never mind. All right, let's see if we can get some updates here. Let's see, channel 8. Let's refresh that guy. Still waiting for a feed. Channel 3. That's me. Channel 2. Let's keep that off. Still waiting there. There we go. There's channel 2 with nothing, but it's set up. Now to 6. This is a lot of work. Court watching takes more work than it used to. That's for sure. Six is always late. All right, we have a little bit of a view. Let's see if we have any audio with that. No audio, but the view is up. We do need our counter, which is 132. This is the anybody counter. Hope to add a few more to that before we're all done. Probably in closing is going to be the biggest addition to that. I don't think Mr. Tellis is going to talk about the body voluntarily very much. I think I have trees of the FU trees. Supreme Court has stepped in to take over the Alex Mordaunt new trial appeal. Wow. They're going to handle it. I guess we'll get a decision out of them. They definitely do announce their decisions. Sienna's Baca is present and accounted for. Welcome. Do you think Tellis still has his lawyers today? I just think that Mr. Tellis is not going to be satisfied with telling his story, because no matter how this goes, when he gets down off the stand, he's going to be frustrated with how it ended up. Okay, he's not going to be like, yeah, nailed it. You know, that convinced them. I think he still wants to talk, and the only opportunity he gets to talk is if he is his own lawyer at the very end and gets to give the closing. It's not the last word, but the second to last word. I think that's it. Rick has a screaming goat. It's ready in case we need it. Hopefully the batteries are charged and good to go. South Carolina Supreme Court, I believe, is handling this, Lizzie Dog, when you're talking about Murdaugh. I don't think we're talking federal. Who are our thumbnail contributors? Y'all are doing a bang-up job. I think Red Pen is leading the charge when it comes to the thumbnail. Doing a great job over there. But we've had many, many contributors who have suggested items. Some just in text. Some have actually gone in on the Canva and added things themselves. But big shout out to Red Pen for making just a great thumbnail. All right. Looking around the courtroom, Mr. Tellis is not there, but he will be seated there shortly. Show me 8. All right, so we'll give them just a minute to get there. They're not there yet. Were you guys impressed with how many jobs Mr. Tellis has had? Can you remember? This is quiz time. How many can you name? HVAC, County administrator, unaliver. The unaliver, technically, I'm not sure if you can count it as a job because I'm not sure if there was pay involved. Okay. Now we've got 8. We'll go full on that one. No audio on 8. So we have the judge, we have the seal. Yeah, nothing's happening until that chair's occupied, but let's stay right here for now. And he's all self-taught, right? He learned everything on the internet. Did computer repair, did some IT stuff. Property management, I think that was also something that happened. Janitor. County administrator. Oh, there was payback involved. You're right, Donna. I guess we can count unaliver as long as he gets convicted. Planet Fitness trainer. Probate attorney. Yeah, crazy. The background story there. Trying to get the live part going here, and it's not. Liquid bandage expert. Super glue for the win. He's a lunch maker. Elected official, that should count for something. I mean, I realized that the position he was in was the county administrator, but that is an elected position. The shoe chicken shopper, shoe chicken chopper. Sherry, I'm sorry you're going to miss it. Definitely might be worth a rewatch for sure. Chauffeur. Hopefully he can decipher his grease pencil notes. Yes, he's not a big fan of the grease pencil. Also not good with scissors. I look at my brief says, did he do it? I wonder, will he tell us? Will he tell us? That's funny, look at my briefs. Thank you for the super chat. Love the humor. Did surveillance. Yes. So that's going to be like a private investigator. Although private investigator is one of those positions that is actually very difficult to get into. You need to be sponsored by a mentor and have like 250 hours of internship to get in. You can't just grab a camera and a shady disguise and go take pictures surreptitiously. Is that the red pen? How do I say that word? It's going to be all over the news. Yeah, it's going to be the top story. I have 250 hours of surveillance experience, but no mentor. I've got thousands of photos to prove it on my cell phone. I know this from experience. Yes, I did look at the job once. I thought that might be a fun one to do. I was actually interested in getting into the field to help insurance companies find insurance fraud. You know, like the guys that say, oh, I hurt my back at work. I have, file these claims. And then I'd sneak out and watch them jet skiing on the weekends and be like, aha, busted. Decided not to do that. Let's see. He's getting, yes, Micah, he is getting back on the stand today. This is day 2 of his testimony. Britt Bottom says, journalist here. I'm basically a professional stalker. Yeah, they call it something else, but yes, the job duties are almost identical. Ivan Victor, holy smokes, 18 months without a ban. Well, you've got a short memory, Ivan. Short memory. I think we banned you more than anyone else on the channel, but love that you're here, Ivan. Hope things are going well. Hope you're feeling better. Be safe at the sawmill. He's the lead counsel in trial. We'll add that to his pro se as well. Kenny asks a legitimate question here. Let's see, are they doing anything? Oh, people are just prepping. Missed yesterday's testimony, so watch this morning. Do you feel it's helped him so far? Okay, my family just barely left, and somebody just opened my front door. Don't know who it is. It's not them. Go away, I'm busy. I don't know who it is. Probably the landlord. I guess they do that here. I don't think it helped. I think he's done a lot to confuse and distract. The testimony, it's told a lot about his job and why he was wronged in his job, why people didn't like him, why he was a good guy. He was, saving people money. They lost a loved one, and now they're getting, what should be their rightful inheritance stolen from them by these, Compass Realty companies and things like that. I don't think it helped. There's nothing that helped so far in his testimony. Sarah T gifted a membership. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. He's also a bladesmith. He's a whiz with a knife. Dinah says, anyone here from the Bay Area? Check in. Shout out. He's a house unflipper. AZDCS oversight. We're just getting ready to start court right now. The judge is not there yet. As you can see, the bench is empty. We're just staring at the wall here. But as soon as the judge takes that seat, we're gonna start things off. So let's see. Messy Jesse says Riverside. Oh, hang on. Riverside County. Is it Riverside County? I'm not familiar with the counties in California. Okay, should be starting any minute now here. Listen to see if we have audio from any channel yet. Well, I think officially the judge is late. It is 10:30. It's 5 minutes past their start time. Lots of Cali people checking in. Central Coast, California. We've got Central Cali right there. Grass Valley. Do you guys know where Mint Canyon is? Mint, M-I-N-T, Canyon. I think that's where College of the Canyons is located. Got a story I might share with you guys. I was working up at Hill Air Force Base with another IT guy, great guy. His name's John. And he grew up in Mint Canyon. I guess the mouth of that canyon, there used to be a Pony Express station right there. Well, obviously Pony Express went away, and that became a house, and they rented the house. While they were renting the house, he was just a little kid, and so he and his brother would go out and they'd play. And in the backyard, there's this big mountain, like a hill. And if you look at College in the Canyons, if you start going up the canyon, you turn into the first entrance to that parking lot, the road goes around that big hill. Well, he would play on the back side of that hill and dig holes like tunnels into the canyon, into the hillside. And his dad, he had to dig the backside because his dad didn't like him doing it because the tunnels could collapse and kill you. So for safety reasons, his dad, they had to hide what they were doing. Well, he and his brother were digging back there one day, and they found a clay tablet with scratch writings in it, and they found this, and they showed their dad. First of all, they got their butts whooped for digging in the mountain, but then the dad took it and locked it in his safe, thinking that it was like some secret to unlock the mysteries of the universe. And he kept it in his safe for his entire life. Well, his dad passed away, I think it was maybe 5 to 10 years ago. And, well, John was up there cleaning out the property. They opened the safe and he found the tablet again. And so he's got it. And he gave it to me for a little while. So I was looking at it, took some pictures of it. I've tried to decipher this thing every which way. The language is like a lost language or a dead language. I don't know. But it's we've tried. I've sent pictures to archaeologists. I've sent them all everywhere. I've even contacted College of the Canyons, whose property this was found on. I mean, they didn't own it then, but they own it now. No interest in it whatsoever. But I've got this mystery I need solved. So if you know anybody, let me know. I can send you pictures. Might even be able to. I think I can buy it from him. John was talking about selling it at one point. I might buy it from him. Aaron Blackman says, Recovery Addict, what did you think about Maya attorney drama? Pretty sad what is going on. They work so hard to fight for. I haven't had a chance to watch that yet. I saw Peter Tragos did a sort of a segment on that. I knew there was a falling out. There was disagreement. And that's too bad. It's sad. It's also business. So, they say never go into business with your friends, and I think they were friends and went into business, and then when they had a disagreement, it just blew up. But Sarah T, did I thank you already for gifting a membership? If not, thank you. Thank you very much. The generosity is wonderful. I appreciate that. Aaron, thank you for the super chat as well. I'll have to find out the details on that. Not sure if we're going to cover it here, but we'll look into that later. KBF, my uncle was OIG and people would have say he was with the FBI, but the FBI wasn't happy about it. He never said he was FBI. They assumed it. Office of the Inspector General. Lots of people checking in from California still. Pacific Grove, California. I think it's Santa Clarita is the area. Yes, that's it. Mint Canyon's near Santa Clarita. Thank you, Cheryl. I'd like to think that I thought of that myself before you guys all posted this in chat, and everyone was telling me over and over I was just missing it. Will you show us a picture? Sure. Let me pull it up on my phone. Okay. I have to send one at a time to my computer. Let's see. Hang on a sec. I need to get this out of the way. 3 is there. Need to get rid of chat for just a minute. 1 second. All right. It does not want to move. There we go. All right, so this is a top-down view right here. Oh, of course, court comes in right now.
You can bring the panel in. We can put the witness back on the stand, and you can bring the panel in.
Do you want them up there first, or?
Uh-huh.
All right, that's it. That's it.
Or be seated, please.
You can bring the panel in. We can put the witness back on the.
Okay, so let's go back to trial. You guys can try to decipher this for me later on. A little meditation before he gets ready to continue his narrative, excuse me. Okay, the audio is, I'm working on the audio, so give me a minute here. Super source to box 2. Of course, they can start court right when I'm showing you a picture. I'll be syncing things up and getting better audio for you in just a minute.
All rise for entering jury.
Okay, give me just a second. He's going to take the oath.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, does the state stipulate to the presence of the jury panel and the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Lauren. Please be
Will you
seated.
please remain standing, raise your right hand so the clerk can administer the oath?
T-E-double-L-E-S.
Let's see, which one's live here? I'm struggling with this.
You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. And again, with respect to Compass Realty's motives, I wanted to show you a probate court video. I'd like to see if we could share that.
And with respect to Compass...
This is going to be D3, and it's not.
Holy cow, he just starts right into this.
You objected, Your Honor, on this matter.
They object. They object and they're going to approach. I'm trying to get this synced up here. While they approach. Three, two, one. Okay, so now let's go to camera 8. We're almost there, guys. Almost got it set up. Audio from 6. I'm probably going to be off about a second or so on the audio. But it'll be close. Starts right off on Compass Realty. First thing, he starts with "and with respect to Compass Realty's motives for the frame job, which you have all witnessed." He wants to show a video, and that video is supposedly going to show how they were guilty in some way. I don't think he's going to get to show it. I think on this one, relevance is the winning objection. I wonder who from Compass Realty is here just to grin at him from the gallery. We have circled back. This is one pin out. That means only 8 more issues after this that we're going to circle back to. This was a video he wanted to show yesterday. I thought they had argued this after court. He had a little hearing where they might have handled that, but he's listening intently with his right ear. That's funny. All right. We're just about done here.
The state has withdrawn any objections, so it's admitted. It will go back with the jury panel. However, I'm not going to allow you to publish.
So when you do go back, if you could please review that video. I would like to ask if, getting back to where we were yesterday, if I could ask that we please share, well, first of all, I'd like to share a picture of the killer's pants. I believe it is a zoomed in version of one of the videos that was provided by the state.
We have it?
Yeah, we have the photo. We have the thumb drive. It's better representation.
I have it on my computer as well. It's clear if we do it this way.
Okay, and it's exhibit.
Yes.
The lawyers have no
State
clue what he's
exhibit,
doing next.
Just for the record.
378.
What are they trying to show?
The state exhibit that's been admitted, I just republished.
Yes.
What was the number of flash drive?
The
flash drive?
Correct. We addressed it yesterday.
Okay.
It's also the flash drive that I gave you. They gave this money as well.
That's going to be court indulgence, state's exhibit 338.
There's 338.
338, and you may publish.
We'll get the sync matched perfectly here in just 1 minute. This is the killer's pants, as opposed to his pants, which he showed at the end of yesterday. Clearly, they're not the same pants. Couldn't be the same guy. This is a great image.
Chris. You guys are in here every day, so.
Chris, it's not working, Chris.
What are we trying to do?
Just that picture. I don't
Zooming in.
even know where that's coming from. So.
Have you tried jiggling the cord?
My guess would be you have this item. It's like
Now the state is providing audio-video services for the defendant.
I don't know why that's.
Looks like Lauren's there. Signature crime.
If I may, I'd like to publish Exhibit A.
This microphone is the same microphone Judge Cedric Simpson uses in his courtroom. Does anyone know the actual brand of microphone? I might actually be buying one for a gig I have later next month. But I need a good flat mic like that. Tabletop. The state withdrew the objection, but the judge says it will go back to the jury, but you're not going to show them. We're not going to make them watch it. Does look clean shaven today. Yesterday was a no shave day for him. Today was a shave day. Sort of like surveillance. Some days you do, some days you don't.
Thank you, sir.
The defense is publishing to the jury Exhibit A.
I'd like to show the two, my jeans versus the killer's pants. I personally don't believe that they look the same.
His opinion is irrelevant.
Right, sustained.
Okay. And I'd like to also note that none of my other pants, jeans, or anything else were taken from my home on the day of the search. As a result of my jeans being taken from me that day, I was put into that paper suit. And you've seen the photo of the paper suit.
Not comfortable.
And the room was cold. I asked, when I attempted to have the temperature adjusted, there was no help there. So I spent the day freezing in that paper suit. There were various things that were done to, I believe, break me. I had conveyed concern all along about my family, and as time went on during this detention, interrogation, whatever, I learned of various things that I believe would tend to, and did for me, break someone's spirit. I was informed that all of my vehicles were being taken away. And this was early in this interrogation. This was before they supposedly found a shoe, that they were taking all my vehicles away, which made no sense to me. When I wanted to reach out to talk to my family, to try to put them at ease, I was denied the ability to make any phone calls. When I wanted to speak to an attorney, I was denied the ability to talk to an attorney. It was my understanding that my rights were being suspended because I was not arrested, I was just being detained. Later again, detectives took advantage, I believe, of my feelings for my family by referring to them over and over. And, it was a lot. Then all had finished. They were finished with the search, and they took me back home. And the media was outside my house, and somebody followed me all the way to my garage door with a microphone in hand. I don't know if I'd say chasing me per se, but she was walking pretty briskly all the way up to my house. And while that was, I'm sure, her right, I wasn't. It didn't help the situation. To know that the media had been tipped off and they were swarming around the house. Then I walked into the house, and what I saw hit me even harder. I'd like to share the photos of my house after Metro finished their search. I think it's A2 to maybe S2.
All right.
That's going to be A2 through I2. Yes, A2 through I2.
I'm struggling here, guys. I believe firmly that innocent unless proven guilty. I don't think there's anything at this point that would dissuade my firm conviction of his guilt based on the evidence I've received. It is the sob story he just told. They put me in a paper suit and it was cold, and I asked them to turn the heat up and they wouldn't. And they took advantage of me because I told them I loved my family. And I went, they took me back to my house. They took my cars away. And that's before they found the shoe. I understand after they found the shoe that's appropriate, but they took them before they found the shoe. That's not right. Just this, the balance here. The jury's like, one man has lost his life, and this man is complaining about the temperature.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to publish?
I would, if you wouldn't mind, could you take maybe 10 seconds of photo and flip them for me?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You want to see the photos? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I guess maybe when we publish them, if you could publish them for about 10 seconds.
Put it in the microphone.
And then what I'm concerned about publishing are the photos of the inside of my home and what... Okay.
The mess they left.
Thank you, sir.
Because he's a clean guy, clean freak. Always cleans up all of his scenes. I mean, all of his rooms.
So this is what I walked into in my house starting.
This is A2, A1.
Snakes will hiss. Welcome, Lucy. Thank you so much.
All right.
It's a mess.
Okay, I know the similar looking photo?
Yes.
Okay.
Skylar, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right.
NTG2.
This is B2.
And coincidentally, I was led to believe that they were not going to make a mess of my house.
This is C2.
Skylar, that's the shotgun mic. What about the flat one that he just moved? The one that has the little red lights on it. Love the Rode shotgun mics, though. Those are really good.
This is D2. This is E2.
I've seen much more thorough searches that left a bigger mess than that.
This is F2.
Hey, another pair of pants.
This is G2. This is H2.
You chose now to squeeze out a tear? The messy house? We have a slow zoom.
I2. And this is J2.
Now show the pictures of the cut-up shoe, the cut-up hat, and the bag.
So I found my wife sitting on the floor in our bedroom in the middle of this mess. And so this for me was, you know, the thing that just broke me. I'm sorry. I knew I didn't do this thing, and yet the police claimed to have this evidence. They did what they did to me, and I have a $1 million life insurance policy. I didn't want my family to have to go through more torture, and so I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought, you know what, if I can avoid the pain that they're going to suffer during this whole circus, and put some money into their hands to make up for me not being there, then maybe this is the thing to do. But it was, for me, never, I'm not guilty. I didn't kill Mr. Gurman. But as you can see, I attempted suicide. And SWAT came in and pulled me out and put me into that ambulance. Detective Jappy came into the ambulance, and, you know, when he came to the ambulance, he came in to extract a confession from me. It was conveyed that if I would just plead guilty, that...
Objection here, sir.
Sustained.
And in response, I said that I'm innocent.
And in response.
But I didn't want my family to go through this. You know, this thing that's going to happen. I guess what I said exactly was, you know, I know that I would prove I'm innocent at trial, but I don't want my family to go through the pain. And I wish that I had the audio to prove that to you, but apparently it doesn't exist.
Like all the other exculpatory evidence doesn't exist.
I'm not certain how we ended up leading off with Mr. Gurman's, I guess the response to Mr. Gurman's request for the messages between me and Roberta, the emails and the Microsoft Teams. The production of those items that were given to, or that they were going to give to Mr. Gurman, it's a lot. You know, I think it's probably hundreds of pages. So I think we were trying to see whether or not we could produce them electronically so that you could review those messages for yourself and see whether or not they're a motive for murder.
Thank you, Skylar. You're amazing.
Good approach, please.
See if they're motive for murder? What? There's a lot. I want you to review all the production that the newspaper reporter was going to get, and you determine if it's motive for murder. Why don't you just tell us where you were at the time of the murder? Why don't you talk about something like that that's relevant? That's relevant. Going back to his work and people don't like me is not going to help him at all. eMeet M3. Let me look at that one. Might check him out. Okay. Thank you, Skylar. Appreciate your help. Let's see. Jennifer says, please help me understand what is going on. I've never seen a defendant be able to get on the stand like this with no questions. I'm confused. Okay, this is called testifying in the narrative form. It's generally only allowed when you testify in your own defense.
Okay, it's my understanding, based on the representations, that exhibit will be created and it will be marked and admitted after it's created. The state's going to put all those, I guess, communications onto a drive, and it will be admitted.
Thank you. And
the jury's not going to look at any of this.
Well, and it's my understanding they already produced that item. I don't know if we can make sure that what they're producing is...
It will be provided to you shortly.
Oh, absolutely. You'll be able to review it.
I would like to now share a photo of my Yukon that was taken at the police impound in their garage. It's 02.
So here's the only question I have about his Yukon. He says his rims did not match.
We move for submission, or I believe it's being admitted by stipulation.
No objection.
It's admitted.
Thank you. And if we may publish it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is a photo of my Yukon that, again, was taken by the police at the garage. If you will note, my Yukon doesn't have worn paint around the windshield like the killer's does.
That was a reflection.
I'd like to note that I am in jail. I don't have access to Photoshop. To Photoshop this photo so that to remove any alleged paint, worn paint. I don't also have Photoshop to modify the picture that Mr. Mogg took that shows allegedly that there was worn paint on my car. I'll also note for you, just because the way that courts work and building records, that the doors on my car do lock and unlock. They do open. They do work. If someone were to open my car door, the visor, it works. It flips up. It flips down. So at any point, at any time, anyone could have opened the car door, flipped it up, flipped up my visor, flipped it down, even just prior to Mr. Mogg taking his photos. And so that's what I've got for that photo. Thank you very much. The cameras that are in the corner of my house, I did install those on September 5th after my wife and I heard what we thought was a gunshot in the neighborhood. And I think that it'd be pretty easy to, well, I know that I said that to Detective Gaddis in my interview, and also it was previously discussed that those cameras were not there during the surveillance on the 1st. So Mr. Mogg would not have found videos for the 2nd, for the 3rd, for the 4th. Personally, I believe that when there's no videos for all those days, I'm not sure how it could be so. No problem.
Testify regarding your observations.
Of course, Your Honor.
Move the microphone so they can hear, and don't move it again.
Okay, thank you. And so, I believe both, well, I can't tell you what other people testified to, but I will say that that day, on September 2nd,
they're going to
at
cross
8:50 a.m., I did make a text message from my house. And I did not leave my house. And I'm just going to hit this one point really quickly. Through 9:10 a.m. at the very earliest. Okay. As I testify later, it was much later that I left my home, but that's, I believe, an important point. So, 8:50 sent a text message, 9:10 I was still home. Now, I would like to share, if I may, R2, I believe, I'm not sure if that's been admitted by stipulation or not. These are the tweets that I made that had any reference to Mr. Gurman.
This has not yet been admitted.
It's marked as
R2.
The state had produced a Twitter file that was not in, your typical web browser format, and so when we went to review this is how those tweets came up.
Any objection?
No objection.
It's admitted, and you may publish.
Maybe let's. So you'll notice that you heard about that tweet where I talked about where I joked about hearing rustling in the trash, just a dig at Mr. Gurman, and that was the one that's listed on 6, I believe that's 6:18 at about 7 at almost 8 in the morning. You don't see the other tweets because for whatever reason they didn't. When they produced this document, they didn't produce replies embedded in it. So, but that's the same one. And you see that my last tweet regarding Mr. Gurman is on 6/19. And there I say, at @JGurmanRJ, at Review Journal. Actually, it wasn't lashing out so much as making sure that you finish the story about the website and maybe poking a little fun. A winky face emoji. I had created, and you'll see that, as has already been admitted, I created this portion of my campaign website that talked about the stuff that was different things that I disputed. And so I wanted to draw attention to that, so that's why I goaded Mr. Gurman into that a little bit. About the same time, it was actually June 16th, I had sent a text message to a friend who had reached out to me about, because he was, he just wanted to check in on me. And on the 16th, I conveyed to him that it's all good. I'm not actually mad at it. At this point, I was over it. I'm happy to move on. And then I said, although, Gurman says he's going to do a third article, one about the website. I don't give a damn. LOL. I don't know if that's something that we can, thank you, sir, that we can admit this text message. If we may, or if you could present it for admission.
What is this? This is a state.
Yes. This is going to be J3.
Thank you. Please. Absolutely.
Thank you.
No objection.
There being no objection, it's admitted, and
Thank
you
you.
may publish.
So you can see the content of there again. 3 days before I sent that last tweet.
I can't see anything.
So again, there were never any messages where I would threaten Mr. Gurman. I'm certain that if there were, they would have been produced. Thank you, sir. The way that I handle things is I figure out ways to do things legally. And I'll discuss that in a little bit as to what I was...
Okay, put a pin in that.
What I was planning.
How to do things legally.
Your Honor, may I just stand up for one moment to show the jury why I didn't wear name brand shoes at the office? Just for a moment, and...
You just want to stand up?
Right where I'm at.
Yes.
Okay. So...
What?
I don't know if you noticed the height difference. I wear lifts in my shoes. I'm about 6'5.5", and I call it a vanity thing, right? I just wanted to feel a little taller. And so, if I may just demonstrate why this is important. So,
see how my pinky
these
finger?
shoes that have built-in lifts.
Oh, the middle finger is shorter when I grab
they're
the
designed
shoe
in a
like
certain
this.
way where they don't slip off a person's foot when you're wearing them. Right? You can see how this is so elongated because there's a lift in here. Right? So you
say high
can't
heels.
It's not, from what I've tried, I could not put a lift in a name brand shoe because that shoe would slip right off. There's not enough of the back of this, once that lift's in there, in order to grab a hold of your foot. So essentially, I'd be kicking my shoes off every time I walk. So, I never wore...
says he's 6 foot.
Again, any type of name brand shoe at the office, and I think that's something that'll likely be discussed at closing, and how that's relevant.
Sure, you meant 5 foot.
Of course,
Maybe
brings me to the
5'6".
shoes in the house. I did not cut up a shoe and hide it under my couch. I did not cut up a hat and put it in an open door of my toolbox. I did not kill Mr. Gurman, so I did not take a bag with my children's basketball and football out of the bin and use it during the commission of a murder. So, I didn't kill Mr. Gurman. I guess, my next statement would have been argument, so let me skip that. And I think my attorney has already kind of discussed with you the deletion of this body cam video. I guess next I just want to share, I'm going to try to share some thoughts with you about the killer.
He identifies as 6'5".
It was strange to me that the killer...
Objection, proper opinion.
Sustained.
I didn't get to hear, so what did you... what's the topic?
Well, I wanted to talk about my observations about the killer.
Okay, you can testify about any facts and observations that you've made.
Okay. Observations that I made about the evidence that I've reviewed, Your Honor?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. It was strange to me that the killer walked around the neighborhood.
Okay, again, it's facts and observations that you have made.
Right, and I was clarifying earlier that if I reviewed the evidence as provided to the state, but that's okay.
Thank you.
I'll move on. So, I did not. Make sure I get my order right here.
Get my words right.
So you saw a document with certain searches that said Jeff Gurman, Las Vegas, Jeff Gurman, Las Vegas, Rob 4NV, those type of things. I'd like, and my apologies, I should have actually sought this out earlier. I don't know if we can, it's a state's exhibit, if we can dig that up.
What is it?
It was a list of searches for Mr. Gurman that was provided by the state, a lump of Cellbrite items.
Cellbrite? Is that an extraction report? Yeah, it would be extractions.
I will tell you, the one thing he was supposed to say if he gets up on the stand is a flat-out denial, and he's done it looking the jurors in the eyes and said, I did not kill Mr. Gurman. We need to hear this. Why are we... Why are they not letting us hear? Oh, they stayed approached. That's why. Okay, who had platform shoes or lifts on their bingo card? I know one of you had it. I don't... If he is 6'5", didn't we see him standing next to his lawyers and he's shorter than his lawyers? His lawyers must be giants. Please tell me that the defense or the prosecutor gets up and says, I'd like you to just stand next to this
search results actually get
yardstick.
pushed, or like pages get pushed up, is when people review or when people do a search and they visit a particular page based on the fact that they did these search terms, that would actually increase the ranking of the page. So I'll explain. So for example,
he's doing SEO for us here.
Google Rob Tellis or Jeffrey Gurman, Las Vegas, Rob for NV, then you go to my page and you find the page and you click it, then Google's going to say, okay, well, we're going to push this up, right? When people search, we're going to get it further up the chain. And so when I was doing these searches, you'll see, sir, is it?
I may approach.
You may.
Yes.
Exhibit.
State's Exhibit 356.
He's got the lawyers just scrambling looking for exhibits.
Sir. And
we're now learning about search engine optimization and how Google works.
Go through this slowly on the Elmo, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, please.
You may publish.
If I was trying to search for Mr. Gurman's personal information, I don't believe that I would repeatedly Google him over and over again. If you might focus, I don't know if you all can, if you might zoom in just a little bit more if you don't mind, sir. So you see that it starts off Jeff Gurman, Las Vegas 4 times, then I added Jeff Gurman, Las Vegas Public Administrator, and then if you could flip that page, please, sir. And then from there, if you could go down just a little bit, if you don't mind, just so I can read the very top. Okay, Jeff Gurman, Las Vegas Public Administrator again. I did that a few times, and then if you could, and again, so if I was trying to find his address, I would be putting Public Administrator in the same search, right? If you could please flip that as well. So here I was trying to build a pattern. So next I searched Jeff Gurman, Las Vegas, Rob for NV, which is my campaign website.
He's trying to manipulate the Google algorithm on his own?
Later, as I continued to research, I found out that the only thing it was going to do is bump the search result up on my own browser. But thank you, sir. So I ended up finding that there were paid services where you give them a credit card number and a certain amount of money to spend, and they have either one of 2 ways of doing it. They either have people in some other part of the country or the world manually typing in these search terms, from different spots to, and I guess it's, I don't know if you'd call it cheating to have somebody artificially pushing your website up, but I felt like, with what Rita Reed had done, that, if she was going to lie, that it was fair game for me to try to push my website up so that people could read the truth, right?
You're right, Kathy.
That was the purpose of those searches. But I never searched for Mr. Gurman's address. And yeah, I would think that if I had, you would see a landing page of some sort that actually showed I searched for his address. So when I saw the supposed searches where I supposedly looked for his car, you got to have a man's address when you're putting it into at least from what they showed, that supposedly they found the car by way of his address. I didn't know his address. So, and I think if you would have seen some landing page showing that I knew it.
How do you explain all the pictures of his house on your computer and phone?
Didn't do a Google Maps search of him. And when it came to these photos that are supposedly surveillance, I don't know why anyone would do that. Sit there and take 100 photos of different cars. I don't even understand what the purpose of that is. It's my understanding that surveillance means you go tail a person, not sit there and snap off a bunch of pictures. And then there were these other items that the state had introduced, photos of articles, like screenshots of articles, screenshots of the...
Look at the guy in the blue suit who's like...
Was it Facebook messages, like a discussion that I had with John Cahill. And those are items that I was actually collecting for a lawsuit. And did you all bring a copy of that lawsuit? The lawsuit draft? Rick would have, may I?
Sure, it's your dollar. We're paid by
I've
the hour,
been
sir.
Writing a draft of a lawsuit, and as I said earlier, this is the way that I wanted to handle this issue. If we may take a look at it so I can tell you.
Refresh my recollection.
Thank you.
Okay, they approach one more time. Oh my goodness. Upstream key here. Oops, let's go back here. He's talking while they've still approached, and he's not allowed to do that because we have to have the mics off.
I couldn't sue my employees because that would just look bad. But I felt that after I lost the election, they were fair game. Because my original thought was that, if I won, or if I tried to sue them in advance of the election, that people would say, he's just trying to shut up people, right? And I got advice to that extent. And so I took it. I said, okay, well, I'm from an attorney. I'm like, all right, well, I won't sue them now. And my hope is that I was going to win. And I think I came pretty close, but it is what it is. So once I lost, I said, you know what?
I came close.
I'm going to sue them.
There's no close in a lawsuit.
Oh, I am so sorry, sir.
Second place is the first loser. You did not almost win your lawsuit.
So again, this is a draft of a lawsuit. It's an unfinished lawsuit that I had started drafting, and it was going to be on behalf of myself as my own attorney, as part of the law firm that I had, Accolade Law. And I would like to ask that this be admitted.
For my defunct law company, Accolade Law. Check us, hit us up
you can review that and see that, again, this is the reason that I had actually captured some of those pictures. Sorry, sir. Okay. Now, the interesting about this situation, and I guess I had done my own research on
surveillance
cases, and I had found that there were actually cases where even DNA evidence had been planted. There was a case where apparently it was an officer-involved shooting, and the police were pretty sure they had their people.
Objection, relevance?
Yeah, the objection is sustained.
Okay. Well,
the lawyer's like, you can't do this.
Goes to my theory, but I guess we'll have to save that for later.
No, it's not coming in. The only way he can save it for later is if he fires his lawyers and gives the closing himself. Is that is he telegraphing his thoughts here?
That day, September 2nd of 2022, as I mentioned earlier, I sent that text message, hung around home, had no...
Not by my phone, though.
Watching TV or working. Somewhere probably around 10-ish, I went for a walk. Came back home. And
we
then
saw that walk.
got ready and went off to the gym. And if I could republish T2.
If he went for a walk around 10, guess what? All the neighbors' security cameras would have caught that. I don't think we have him going for a walk around 10.
Absolutely, sure.
Thank you, sir. If you could please turn to the appropriate page.
Just
As I said before, I'm techie, right? You see that
is this a spreadsheet?
my actual login, after you consider everything I do, to get ready to go to the gym, when they were ready to scan my phone, it was at 12:09. And I say it was my phone because I'm a techie person. The tag that was on my keychain, I abandoned it long ago. So that was from my phone. May I next republish, I believe it's States Exhibit 374 regarding text messages I received that day?
As long as he's relevant, the judge will let him go on. The state will object if he gets if it's inappropriate testimony, or if he's not relevant. But as long as he says relevant, and probably can't circle back too many times to the same thing, this could go on all day. A techie person. I know how phones and internet and GPS work.
Would you, if you don't mind, if you could publish it, please.
What will be published?
It's about 20 pages.
If you don't mind, we can just go through it briefly.
20 pages.
My apologies.
Can you flip through 20 pages? He's like, sure,
go
I
ahead
get
and
paid by the hour.
turn to the next page, please.
It's 374.
Thank you so much.
Page 1. Page 2.
Okay, so if you could turn the page, please. Okay, if you could turn the page, please. You turn the page, please.
Nobody can read this.
If you could again turn the page, please. Now you see again that conversation I had with my daughter. Had my phone, responded, no problem. At 9 o'clock, still had my phone when I got an email from Jimmy John's. You could turn the page, please.
Thought about getting a Jimmy John's sandwich. Didn't. Decided to go for a walk instead.
Still had my phone when I got this message from, if you bring it down a little bit, or the other direction, please, from Cora. And when I got this text message from this spam, talking about how they wanted to sell my home, I didn't respond to that. If you could please, when I got the message from Macy's, I didn't respond to that. And again, still had my phone. When I got this, if you could go to the next page, please. This is, so we had recently changed at the office, the way that, or our vendor for the answering service. And with that, I asked that they create a system or implement a system where we're automatically texted for these things. Again, no response required. This was something that was assigned to Rita. It was just provided to me for my records. So nothing to respond to. Again, another email, no response needed, just junk mail. Sir, please.
Vanessa Murphy, the lawyer, was the one who followed him up to the garage door. She retweeted the video of her doing that.
Message from the answering service. Then at 10:36, I got a message from my wife with a picture from my daughter. And then if you can go up, my wife called about 10:43. I'd been out for a walk. I was just about to come in anyway, so I didn't respond. You'll notice that she did not call me again. She did not text me again. That's because I said, honey, I'm home. So can we go to the next page? Again, another junk mail. Then a phone call from Reputation Defender, junk. I don't feel the need to pick up the phone from everybody who's,
I'd already paid them a bunch of money
calling.
to fix my, my website reputation.
And then another email, again, automated email, if you could change the page, please. Again, calendar invitation, junk mail, calendar invitation. And you'll notice by this time it's already 12:53 when we're at number 32. So I already have myself at the gym, right? So it's not like, I've got to answer any of these things, right? And then I was done at the gym. I want to say I typically take about an hour there. And so it was, I don't know why I would have missed this call if I was in the shower or whatever. This would have been from the vendor for my daughter's diabetes supplies. So they left a message. And if you scroll down, it looks like they left a message about a sensor for my daughter. If I could turn the page. And if you could go up. So here again, like I said, you should have no doubts about the fact that I had my phone on me. Whatever anybody tries to argue.
Don't believe
because
them.
Again, I clearly had it. Went from the check-in. I say I had it all day. They may try to argue otherwise, but. So when we continue on again, there's that message. Then my ex-wife sends me a message at 1:26, and I don't immediately respond to it. And I don't feel the need to respond to every single text message immediately. I don't know, I'm personally that way. If I don't find a sense of urgency in it, I believe it can wait a bit. Sometimes I won't respond to, even if it's a person who's sending me a text message, I won't respond to the next day. It's just whatever mood I'm in. So
There's in like
I personally don't think that there's anything suspicious about my phone
mood
use here. Thank you, sir, very much. So I went to the gym, like I said, at about 12 and got checked in about 12:09. Did my workout.
It was leg day.
Went home. Picked up kids later. And, the
reason for washing the cars is coming right now.
I can't imagine the kind of person that would.
Objection.
Sustained.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally can't imagine myself to be the kind of person.
Sustained.
I am not the kind of person who would
Judge,
stab
does this
someone.
work?
The objection was sustained.
Okay. So I've never beat anybody up. I've never killed anybody. I didn't kill Mr. Gurman. And that's my testimony.
And he's done.
Okay. Cross-examination.
I'm going to need a break. Just
Oh, that's
like
true. Okay.
We get a break.
All right, we're going to take a recess. During this recess, you're admonished not to discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case. Remember, questions don't come till both sides are done questioning.
The jury's like, we have questions. We have
When
questions.
they're done questioning, if you want to ask a question, I will ask it then. But we did
yes.
that because your question might get answered in the interim. So during this recess, you're admonished not to discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case or its merits, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. Read, watch, or listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about the case, do any research, consult dictionaries, internet, or reference materials, do any investigation, test a theory, recreate any aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or learn about the case on your own, or form or express any opinion regarding the case until it's finally submitted to you. We'll be in recess. Is 15 minutes okay?
Yes.
15 minutes. Thank you.
All rise for the
We have 15 minutes to get ready for what might be the epic cross of the year when it comes to watching true crime. This is going to be amazing. Mr. Tellis has emphatically stated with direct eye contact to the jury that it was not him, that he has never killed anyone, he's never beat anyone up, he's never stabbed anyone, that he did not kill Jeff Gurman. He also stated emphatically that, or with the same level of sincerity, he was 6'5". I think that was a misspeak. The Vanessa who was in court. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure if I can show the video. It's a video that the CBS affiliate in Las Vegas filmed. She had a cameraman with him when he was brought back from court. When he's walking back in that paper suit back to his house, right? The paper suit when it was so cold out. Was all chilly, and he's walking back. He has to go in his garage door, and she follows him up there. She's like towering over him from my perspective of how I view that. And she's like, no, he's not 6'5". I can just say that right now. But wow, he has dragged his attorneys around the evidence and the exhibits, had them display a lot of things that I think make sense to him, that solidifies his case. I will give him credit. He addressed many of the situations where he is confronted with some hard evidence against him. He talked about the shoe. He just said, "I've never cut up a shoe. It wasn't me." He didn't talk about the blood on the shoe. But he did say he's done some research about cases where evidence was planted that got struck down on a relevance objection. So he says even DNA evidence. So I think that's what he was talking about on probably both the fingernail clippings of the decedent as well as his blood on the cut up shoe, which probably matched the blood on the scissors. And yeah. Anyway. He says that wasn't him. He would never hide those things in his house. He wouldn't do those things. That's not what he does. He likes to do things and figure out ways to do things legally. I'm not sure if he meant without getting caught by the law, or if I don't know what he was getting at there. So much of what he said, he's tried to portray to the jury that he is just this even-keeled guy, that he just, yeah, it bugged me, but then I let it go because, who wants to hang on to that? And at the same time, his behavior is when look at how he's chasing, trying to get something and he won't let it go, won't let it go, won't let it go. His behavior differs from what he says he behaves like. Does that make sense? It's non-congruent, I think is the term. Let's see, we've got a couple comments I have to read here from the super chat page. He's a 6'5" non-murderer, says Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Kim R., if he says we'll talk about this tomorrow. No, he's done. He's done now, finally. Kathy also, when the defendant takes a stand, it should be riveting. This is revolting. Is there a limit to how long he can drone on? Well, we know not the limit now, and that's he ran out of things to say. Thanks for clearing that up. We can all go home now. Corey says, question, did state add any lesser includeds? I don't think so. I think the maximum that he can get as far as sentence, and I'll have to look at the charges specifically on this, is life without parole. This is not a death penalty case, but life without parole is definitely on the table, and it's looming ominously over this case. He's 5'5". Yes, he messed up. I think he tried to say he was 5'6", but instead said he was 6'5", and the whole demonstration about the inserts where he says, I'm sort of a vain person that way. Yeah, that goes against you, sir. Let's see. Cross is going to be epic. Get your snacks ready. I'm going for popcorn and Coke Zero, says Tara. Did he kill the neighbor because the neighbor was going to disclose some secrets? Rob, this is the state's allegation, is that this neighbor was actually the reporter for the Review Journal who was doing an expose-type article on the defendant and his office, and things that were wrong in the office, the morale, the issues, the infighting, the affairs, those sort of things. And so he was making all that public. And there was another story in the works, and that's when he got killed. Cue the song Shaggy, It Wasn't Me. It wasn't me. He was pretending to be nonchalant too well. If you're truly being framed, you wouldn't be able to hide your anger when discussing planted evidence. I want to see Dr. G on this. I want to see what he says. Can he go back after cross-examination? Yes. I think he can. I think he gets a second shot at this, which will be interesting. So we might not be all the way done. Does he get to redirect? I think he does. I think the rule states he can redirect. He lost me when he said he was 6'5" and is a vain person. I don't know if his wife's there. The poor lady, there's no evidence that she has done anything to be to make herself worthy of being associated with the drama that's going on here. So we're keeping her out of this as much as we can. I don't know what the case is there. Who's Dr. G? Dr. G Explains is a fellow YouTuber, a good friend of the channel, who is a behavior analyst and a professional. Look into my eyes and I'll tell you what you're thinking guy. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Body language expert, all that. Desert Marshmallow went and grabbed some chips. You're ready to go. The crying. Knowing where he went with the story, as he was doing the lead up to why he would make a decision to injure himself intentionally, that makes a little bit of sense, a tiny bit. Oh, we have a spam call. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is it Sarah?
Hi, this is Susan.
Oh,
I'm a Fair
Susan.
Healthcare Advisor on a recorded line. Can you hear me okay?
What was your name, dear?
Well, I am with one of the providers for Medicare Health Center, and based on our records, I showed that you may qualify for information for ways to reduce or even eliminate the cost for healthcare expenses. Do you currently have Medicare Part A and Part B active right now?
You said your name was Susan? Is that with a Z or with an S?
Perfect. Everything looks great thus far. Okay, great. Now, it looks like you do qualify to speak with one of our specialists who can connect you with one of our licensed agents to go over with more details with you, okay?
Okay, Susan.
Hi, this is Dave on a recorded line. How are you doing?
I was speaking with Susan.
Okay.
Hello? About my Medicare?
Yeah, you are speaking with Susan. Then what happened?
Is this Susan?
No, this is not Susan.
You sound like a Susan to me.
You sound like a son of a bitch. Did I ask you?
Wow. Do you kiss your mom with that mouth? It's one of those days, guys. It's one of those days. I'm sorry. I was on a recorded line. It's on a recorded line. Good thing. DK, welcome to the gallery. This is the fun we get into when we're not in court. Oh, my goodness. I don't think that was Susan. I don't think that was a Susan. Welcome, DK. You're one of us now. You can never leave. We love it, though. You're among friends. Golden Girl, 19 months. Been here 19 months. This is the strangest day ever. ever. Wow. Oh, he's calling back. No, this is somebody else. This is
Call from.
You got to do more of those.
Donnie, my friend.
You got to do more of those. I'm telling you, think about a second channel. You need a second channel. I don't know if you have one of those, but I'm telling you, chat goes crazy.
It would be
People love it.
It would be a burner channel, right?
You have 60,000 subscribers, and God knows how many members, probably just as many. But if you get another channel and just figure it out, you're very good at this. And I'm telling you, I know YouTube has been on YouTube for 13 years. They have other channels that make money on each and every channel. I'm telling you. You'll be good at it, and you will make double the money.
Donnie,
that's just my opinion. I'm 50 years old. I know.
For me, it's
if you don't believe me, I'll tell you what. If you don't believe me, ask chat to put a 1 and a 2. One should you get another channel and just do things like that, or 2 for no, and let's see what they say.
Okay. All right, Donnie. Thank you very much.
Have a good one. You're doing great. Make it rain.
All right. I love Donnie. I will say this. I like taking these spam calls in breaks in between. If I was doing it day in and day out, it would be a little depressing. I love court. I love true crime. I love the legal system, and having a break now and then. Normally, it doesn't get quite that offensive when talking with them, but yeah, we'll see. Mary Kay, that call was epic. There are a lot of ones. There are a lot of ones in chat. Might need a second channel. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe on off days. The thing is, I have to get the phone call. I would feel it would be wrong of me to make the phone call and have it be a prank. That I don't think would be appropriate. So yeah, we'd have to figure that out. Not that I want more prank phone calls, but I think we have just the right amount right now. His customer service sucked. Yeah, it was not good. But this is basically par for the day. Greeners saying, I could submit your number to some services to increase your phone. No. I would most definitely get a different burner phone if that was the case. I'd like this one to be for true crime. Let's see. I don't care where you do them as long as you do them. This is Birdie. Jim is amazing. Jim has the tech. Love him and Pierogi. They do great work. Maybe I'll have to clip the pranks and just put them on shorts on this channel or something. Maybe that'll work. If I do that though, I need a voice changer. I can't have this deep, buttery, smooth voice to talk to. They'll never believe me. They never believe me. They're looking for someone who they feel they can manipulate and change. That's why Pierogi changes his voice, I think. Kid Boga is awesome. Greener says, Chad, I want to know why Recovery Addict seems to only get spam calls during court breaks. They're the only time I answer them, Greeners. I get more. I get them after work, before work, all of that. You don't look old enough for Medicare spam calls. I can send you a vocoder. Is it like software? I was going to do a hardware version. I was thinking I was going to go to B&H Photo and look for a voice changer. Get Mrs. R.A. in on it. She has a kind heart. Mrs. R.A. is amazing. She would not handle these calls the way I do. And I justify it in my head because I believe in being kind to people. But when these companies are calling and knowing that their business model is designed to prey on people who are maybe fearful or not informed about the topic, I think me keeping them on the phone longer helps them not make other calls to other people. So it actually helps people. That's how I rationalize it in my head. So I'm going to stick to that story. Still waiting for court to come back. It's just going to be a couple more minutes before defense takes the stage, and it will be epic. Army Mom, thank you very much for gifting a membership. I think we're about to come back to court, actually. Let me just check. Yeah, it looks like people are starting to take their seats. The lady in blue there above the antibody count, she was the reporter that followed Mr. Tellis to his garage with a microphone. She was trying to get the other side of the story to make it an even, fair, and balanced story. He objected to that, apparently. Didn't like that. But Vanessa did post that video again. If you go to Vanessa Murphy on Twitter, on X, you'll see she posted that about 45 minutes ago. So you can see that footage. A spam call channel. Dr. Bullbutter, thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words. Sorry, the chat's going really fast. I apologize. I wish I could click on everyone's message and respond. I was talking the other day with somebody about my channel, and someone said, "Hey, every time you put that our chat up, they take a screenshot type of thing." And I had to smile and look back because I did the exact same thing with some creators that I've done it before I started my channel at all. I did it when my comment got highlighted by Peter Tragos, the lawyer and it's just I want to put everyone's comment up here. I wish I could, but I try to get a mix. Anything really crazy happen? Dipped into EDB's chat for a bit. It's been wild. Oh my goodness, it's been wild, Erica. It's been crazy. What's going on over with EDB? She's always a fun watch. She's a pillar of LawTube is what she is. Never say yes on the calls. I consciously try not to do that. I got a coupon for a casket on my 40th birthday. That sounds like a prank. You think Sarah Boone should be taking notes? I think Sarah Boone's going to do a better job than this guy. It'll also be much shorter. Rosebud, so happy to be here with you for your year already. Time flies. Thank you and all. 12 months, Rosebud. You've got that orange courthouse by your name. Thank you. Thank you very much. Karen's Krabby Shack says, I can't believe he cried over the police searching his home. I think this was a miscalculation. Okay, first of all, I'll say that it is my belief that he cried intentionally and forced it. I did get Amber Heard vibes. My dog stepped on a bee while he was doing it. And I think he miscalculated and he took too long with his story and cried first as he was getting himself geared up to tell about the self-harm and the decision he made to, for the betterment of his family is how he put it. I think he miscalculated and the tears didn't line up. Maybe Tellis should have brought in the door. It would have helped. That's from the last case. The reporter said she's 5'6", and Tellis is shorter than her. Yes, and she's standing right there behind him. I mean, they're there every single day next to each other. DSN says, in bed with an infection, and this has been like the best day ever or something like that. This has been a great day. DSN, I'm sorry you're sick. Hopefully you're feeling better. Glad that we get to cheer you up a little bit. Debbie, hello, welcome. Sweet and salty, thank you. I figure there was a time when I would get really frustrated. If he's 6'5", his lawyer has to be like 7'2". That's crazy. There was a time when I'd get frustrated. I'd be like on all over the do not call list, trying to file a complaint. It's like, why are they bugging me? I realized that there's nothing I can do to stop these calls, and the least I can do is just enjoy the moment and have some fun. They're getting set to come back here in just a moment. Virginia, thank you very much. Name it. Call me with your best spam. I would need a new burner phone. It could not be the same burner phone. I have a Steve who calls about Camp Lejeune weekly. Really? What trial date did they discuss? May it be cluster B. What trial date did they discuss the evidence seized from his house? Do you remember? Want to go back and hear about the gym bag and what was in it? That was a big photo day. Lots and lots of photos. It's either day 1 or day 2 of testimony. So that would be Wednesday or Thursday when it started, I think, because we had Monday, Tuesday were jury selection, if I remember right. Jets are flying again outside. Use the internet number. Becky Waddell, welcome. Welcome to Attorney. Oh, my goodness. The attorneys get the nice, cushy, soft virtual chair, Becky. So please take a seat and enjoy the nice view, front row. Let me know if there's any social media or anything you'd like me to follow and reach out to you on. I can't wait to see the insights, your comments on things we follow. Thank you for supporting at the attorney level. That is huge for the channel. It means the world to me. Thank you very much. And look at this. Hang on. You got 2 pups in your picture. What cute puppies. Thank you, Becky. Appreciate that. I think it was day 2 the pictures were coming up. So his alibi is, trust me, bro, I was at the gym. I usually take an hour. I already had myself down at the gym. The neighbor walk. Shouldn't there be a video of him? Like, didn't his neighbors also have cameras? Wouldn't we have something that happened there? If he had come out of his house, I assume the police did a thorough canvass getting that. I just don't think that walk ever happened. Maybe the lift is only in one shoe to eliminate the limp. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for the spice. We're still in break right now. The court's showing this. So as soon as we get back, we'll bring it to you. We are only 200 subscribers away from reaching 60,000. It would be awesome if a few of you might find it in the goodness of your heart to click the button and subscribe to the channel. It is free. And while you're hovering around that button, you might want to just click on the like button as well, just to register your DNA with the system to show you were here when it happened. LJ says, I was having a horrible day today, and you and the channel made it so much better. Thank you, LJ. This is an amazing community. I love watching true crime with this group. We have very different opinions, not so much on this trial. A lot of us are on the same page on this trial, but normally we have very, very different opinions, and love being able to share them respectfully and learn from each other, and often change my opinion as I learn from y'all. Chris Wallace gifted a membership. Thank you, Chris. That one went to Katie. Congratulations, Katie. I really expected him to talk all day. Marilyn, yes. I was very surprised when he just was done. He's like, that's my testimony. That's it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was a bit of a surprise how quickly that came in. Brian Cedarland, welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much. You can never leave. It's a one-way door, but you're one of us now. Welcome. You're among friends. Jessica, thanks for the kind words. Lisa, yes, with the popcorn. Think we're getting close. The bailiffs are getting in position. Everyone's sort of sitting down. As soon as the lawyer with his phone sits down, I think we'll be ready. Bite Me gifted a membership. Thank you, Rebecca. I'll have to look and see what we can do, if we can make a shirt for Buttercup. Let's see. Watching from the first state. New to the channel, Tish. Welcome. Welcome. Red Finch, thank you very much. 14 months of support. The fence is chomping at the bit. Look at him. He is so ready for this. Mr. Tellis is doing some deep meditation. He is not ready for this. I don't think he's ready for this. But this might be quite interesting, because arguing that a narcissist is sometimes a futile attempt, especially if you're not a narcissist yourself. You end up with circular logic that you can never really win, and it might become very frustrating in that manner. But we'll see what happens. Red Finch, thank you very much for the 14 months of support. Love that Orange Courthouse. Appreciate you. Blackbird Squeaks says, I'm new to the channel too. Yes, and that Orange Courthouse tells me that you're lying. Blackbird Squeaks. Love it. Wouldn't be the same here without you, though. Watching from Sydney, says Kylie, I have no clue of this guy. In my opinion, he's guilty. Thank you for your great channel. There's a lot of evidence here. probably more evidence than I've ever seen in a trial that is very compelling, not just circumstantial, very compelling physical evidence. DNA, his blood on the cut up shoes that match what the attacker used, his blood on the scissors, his DNA under the fingernails of the victim, video that matches, his vehicle and the attacker. There's just a lot of stuff. Plus the whole motive. The motive is there. I mean, he wants you to read everything and say, really look at these messages. Is that motive for murder? Yes. Every day of the week. Every day of the week, that's motive for murder. I'm sold on that part. Sandra Oliver gifted a membership. Thank you, my friend. Justin Smith, member for 2 months. What about his pins? He never unpinned. He tried to circle back. I think most of them were ruled that they couldn't come in, that they were not allowed. Welcome, new subscribers. Thank you. Remember, we're respectful here. We ask you guys don't not call names. If there's someone in chat you get a disagreement with, if you absolutely have to, you can just block them on your own. That's fine. But if you're going back and forth with each other and you're not making any headway with an argument, just agree to disagree, and we can still be friends. We'll talk about another case. You never know. In the next case, they might be, your number one supporter on your opinion. Claire, welcome to the gallery. Brand new member. Thank you, Claire. Thank you. We are doing cross pretty eyes. Yes. The defense is getting geared up. And Mr. Tellis is going to take the stand again, but have to answer questions asked by a seasoned district attorney or assistant ADA. I'm not sure what his role is. Valerie says, lucky to be here. Thanks to the generous people in chat gifting me a membership. Grateful to get one every month. Loved RA mods and chat. Thank you. Our mods are absolutely fantastic. They're all volunteer, and the work they do is amazing. From all parts of the world, they come on and they're welcoming. They try to weed out. Occasionally, we get some trolls in here, and they try to weed those out. Occasionally, in the hustle and bustle, they and I make a mistake and might time out the wrong person. If that happens to you, please accept our apologies. It will either fix itself within 24 hours, or if we can fix it, we'll try to do that. But if you do have any concerns or something that happens in chat that you don't think was right, or you're not being treated fairly or something, reach out to me on the burner phone. And I'm serious about that. I answer the burner phone. If you need the number, probably won't take the calls during the live stream very much if I can help it, because I want to focus on the testimony. But I'd be happy to talk to you and resolve any concerns you have. Jury questions, just Joe. Oh my! Can you wait? Can you imagine what they're going to ask? What size shoe do you have? I'm curious. I think I need to go back and look at the pictures of the vehicle, because we hear that the rims didn't match. I have not seen the rims not matching yet. I didn't see that. So if you guys have a picture somewhere, you can text it to the burner phone or email it to me. That would be great. I'd love to see it side by side. Is it possible he went and changed the tires on his car to make it look like it's not his car, to have different rims on the front or the back, and then change them back? Yes, possible. I would put that in the not probable. I would have doubt as to whether he went to that length to do that, because he doesn't look like the sort of guy that goes out and changes tires. And if he did somewhere else, I think they'd remember it. Prosecutor is chomping the bit. Yes, I mix the two up constantly. I'm looking at the defense table, and the prosecutor was standing in front of it. There's the prosecutor with the paper walking up to the lectern, and he's about ready. Jury question: why did you kill him? Let's see. How does he explain his DNA under the victim's nails? He wasn't allowed to explain that. He said he'd done some research where he said even DNA evidence had been planted in other cases. So basically what I hear him saying is, so you're saying there's a chance. There's a thin chance that DNA could be planted. But this was a lot of evidence in a lot of different places with a lot of different people. It's very, I've got a lot of doubt regarding that. Jury, how tall are you? He was framed by Remax. He has got this issue with this realty company. What was the name of it? now I can't remember the name of the realty company that he was mentioning. We talked about it this morning. It sounds like he's like, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, is his tactic. Compass Realty. Thank you. It sounds like he's trying to bring down other people because he has dirt on them. And I believe this 100%. I believe this part of his testimony. There's dirt on people that are dealing with the government in buying and selling people's houses who don't have their will lined up. There's money to be made there, and people are making money, and they might be squeezing the system more than they should. 100%. There's not a doubt in my mind that this is true. Him saying they're doing bad stuff, so they should be the guilty ones, it does not compare. It's apples and oranges. He wants them to go down because, they disagree with each other. But this is not what we're here about. Realtor companies do deserve the hate, but maybe not by him, says Jim Bob. If someone was after him, why would they kill the journalist and not him? It's unbelievable. That's my theory too, says Mismo. If he's going down, they're all going down. Girl with Animals, you lost your courthouse. Look everywhere. Look in the couch cushions and see if it's in there. Make sure you got your gift setting turned on. There's a good chance it might come back. How is Tellis able to sit with his attorney? Is he still testifying, or thought that wasn't allowed? Yeah, he probably shouldn't be talking to his attorney right now, at least about his testimony. At this point, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a huge deal. This is going to end in a train wreck anyway, and there's nothing that he can do that will change that. Think of all the folks. If this was a frame job, says maybe it's Cluster B, who would have had to keep silent but lie in a court of law to not plausible? Yeah, it's not plausible. For this to be a frame job, everybody else has to be in on it. I mean, there's like tinfoil hats that we'd all have to be wearing to believe this. It's just impossible to put all this together and say, see, I was framed. I would never do that. Well, we've got you on video doing it. It wasn't me. It was your car, and it drove back to your house. Wasn't me. I was doing something else at the time that I have no evidence of. That's all we've got. Cachette gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Cachette. Mistrial also gifted another membership. Thank you for your generosity. So he's short and insufferable, says Mavia. Double guilty. Nothing against somebody being short. But Diane, welcome to the gallery. Brand new member. Make her welcome, please. Everyone make room on the front row. Diane, one of the things you can do when you're a new member is type !seat because we have reserved seating for front row for members. So we can just squish over a little bit and make room for you there on the front row. He has a typical attitude of narcissistic personality. What do you think of the way he hesitantly speaks to his lawyer? He's like, could you please just scroll through? Is this an act? I don't see that anywhere else. It's just like the relationship he has with his lawyer. That's the strangest thing. Trish, I have not heard about the mayor of Dalton, Ohio. Tell us, is there a story or a criminal case coming up? Red Hot Amy Kate says, I'm trying to catch up. He just talked about lifts in his shoes. Okay, Prince, go on with your bad self. Oh, that's funny. Iris gifted a membership. Thank you, Iris. Dalton, Illinois. Someone text me the details on that to the burner phone if you could. I'd like to take a look at that if there's a case or something that we need to follow or an upcoming case. This delay is taking a long, long time. It's easier to plant taillight pieces than DNA, says Pretty Eyes. Just a throwback to the Karen Reed trial. Someone needs to Photoshop Tellis on Lord Farquaad's body. I think at this age of internet savviness, it's probably already done. We just need to find the picture. 7 says, I wonder why he didn't explain away the DNA under the victim's nails. I think he was trying to, and there was an objection as he started that. His rationale, he said, this goes to my theory of defense, was that that DNA can be planted. Not that it was, but DNA can be planted. But that's about as far as he was able to get. So that I think is why he was not able to talk directly about both the blood on the shoe and the DNA evidence under the victim's fingernails. But is his lawyer now talking to the prosecutors about a plea deal? I think his lawyer's looking for the exit. There he goes. He's out. He's done. It's just Mr. Tellis in here now. This is nuts. Maybe the wife framed him. Well, she would have probably the best ability to, being able to collect his DNA and stuff without him knowing. Did they quit? No, they could not quit, right? I mean, yes, they could quit. There's a possibility they could be fired at this point in the trial. It's looking more and more like that's not going to happen. But for them to withdraw, there would have to be a motion that's provided to the court. There would be a sidebar. Probably the jury would go out and there'd be an argument and say, look, my client has informed me that he no longer wishes to have my services. He wants me to do something that I can't do. I have an ethical obligation to not do that. We have a difference of opinion. We can't proceed at this point. There would be something like that. Motion to withdraw. The judge would probably rip him a new one. By him, I mean Mr. Tellis. Because she's already gone off on him once about wanting to be pro se. Bloke has zero self-awareness. He sees himself in a different light. Just completely different. Sorry, the burner phone is going like just absolutely wild. Thank you for the articles. Let's see. It's a corruption case. I'll look into that. I like a good corruption case, as good as the next one. Your Honor, my client wants to take a plea deal. Now that he's got his piece out about Compass Realty, he wants to take a plea deal. Oh, my goodness. We're not going to cover Christine Ricci sentencing. We'll probably just have it. Someone will let us know in chat what happens there. We didn't cover that. I don't think we covered the trial. My memory is not the best today, but Walger says, I'm behind, but no guy who is 6'5" wants to appear taller. A bunch of BS. I think he meant 5'6". I don't think he's even 5'6". Maybe 5'5". Good to do cases with no dead bodies. It's always fun to have some variety. I mean, talking about murder day in and day out can get a little wearing. We haven't had a good civil suit in a while, have we? Not since Gwyneth Paltrow. Rose says, my husband just asked me if this was some kind of soap opera. Sort of. Scorpion says, is this guy representing himself? I haven't been following, but thought he had a lawyer going in. He does. Those two chairs next to him, the lawyers should be seated there, but they're not here right now. They're coming back in, I think. This looks like them. Nope. That's an observer. Is that Damon Yanni, Channel 13's weatherman? No, it's somebody else. Oatmeal says, I haven't done the civil suit with you guys yet. Civil suits are fun, just because the court is different. The rules are a little different, and it's fun to see the variety. I like to get a whole, an overview of how courts work. And so when we find a case that has something unique about it, say for instance we've got a case coming up out of Mississippi we're looking to get in on that has a 14-year-old well, 15-year-olds now. A defendant accused of murder, charged as an adult, has been found competent to stand trial, and the judge is 100% adamant this is going to be public, it's going to be on camera. That's interesting. So we're going to be looking at that one. That's the Carly Gregg. She is accused of killing her mom and shooting and injuring her stepdad. And then she invited a friend over to said, "Hey, you want to see a dead body?" It's got some stuff in it. Wow, that's going to be interesting. That's Matt Johnson. That's Matt Johnson on the far right, like second in on the right. I need to put him on a different screen so I can see. Okay. I see that now, but he also looks a little bit like Damon Yanni. Am I in Vegas? Actually, I'm in Utah right now. We're up here next on the 26th, 27th, 28th of this month. Corey Richens has a hearing up in Park City that I'm going to be at. We're at her hearing that was early in this month. I've been here all month. That 3-day hearing, we're going to be getting video of the entire thing. The way the judge is running that one, I can't show it live, but I can load it after the fact. So I'll be up there capturing the video, and then either at lunchtime we'll upload the first half, or as soon as we get home, because it takes like half an hour to get home, upload those videos and have that court. So I don't know if we'll be able to go live at all during the day because I'll be in the courthouse. But that Corey Richens trial, if you have not followed that is just wild. She's the wife and author now, I guess, who's accused of killing her husband using a quadruple deadly dose of fentanyl. And that was mixed into a mixed drink, a Moscow Mule for him. And after he died, she wrote a book for her kids about grieving called like "Are You Still With Me?" or something like that. And she went on a national book tour, doing all the talk shows talking about this book. And then it comes out that there are charges against her for the murder. And it's been wild. The letters she's written in jail, some stuff that looks like witness tampering. It's nuts. Her lawyers, the last thing that happened with her lawyers was, this was a couple, probably 2 months ago, her lawyers filed, basically they burnt all the bridges, filed for the judge to be dismissed, filed for the prosecutors to be dismissed, and then quit themselves. It was burning everything as they leave. It has had all the drama. And you're going to love it. It's going to be a great, great trial. It's been almost 45 minutes. Yeah, this is a long 15-minute break. It's been very long. This is what the judge does. I'm not sure if they're just wrapped it into lunch or what. She used to ghostwriter. Break is crazy long. This court is crazy. Time schedule. Time means nothing to the courts in Arizona or Nevada for some reason. Let me see if maybe Vanessa might have an update. Vanessa Murphy, local lawyer. Let's see. Vanessa. See, I don't see. Here we go, 8 minutes. Clark County DA Steve Wolfson is here. Jeff German's family is also here. Regarding the jury, this is Vanessa Murphy on Twitter, by the way. She deserves a follow. She's been following this case day in and day out since before it's gone to trial. Regarding the jury, they seem to be listening closely to Tellis. Some continue to take notes. Difficult to tell. Haven't noticed any obvious reactions. The 15-minute recess was rescheduled. Still waiting, though. Cross-examination is about to begin. Clark County Chief Deputy DA Chris Hamner, that's the one who's been up ready to talk, was up on the stand. See, the judge is not here yet. We're good. He was at the podium. He's a seasoned prosecutor, Vanessa says. Tellis made comments about being a family man. The question, does this open up him to cross-exam to possibly show otherwise? He's talked about how much he loves his family. He said in his interrogation when he was arrested and they took his clothes and gave him the paper suit, that they send him home with, that the investigators took advantage of him because of his love for his family, and he talked about so much about how that they sort of used that as a weak point to get at him or try to break him. Does that open the door? Does that open the door? Here we go. Speaking of open doors.
The record reflects the hearing is taking place outside the presence of the jury panel. Is there an issue?
Yes, there's a question as to what doors perhaps were open in reference to communications between Mr. Tellis and Roberta. There's been a production made. We've had certain communications produced. We need to go through those. I think there's going to be a dispute as to what the scope, what's to be turned over, what's not, if there's been a privilege that's been previously asserted or not, if there's been any waiver. I think that's something we're not going to get done until after lunch. We're going through them.
But can we start and then that issue can...
I would prefer to know we can just lay it out pretty easily. Mr. Tellis got up here and it wanted all of the team's messages admitted into evidence. So that would be our request. There has been a production that we have, that the defense has, of team's messages. We provided those messages. Sounds like the defense's concern is maybe there's another production of team's messages because, I mean, the long and the short of it is some of the team's messages contains information that I think Mr. Tellis finds fairly damaging. And so he wanted them in. We agreed, fine, let's let them in. And now there's an issue of, well, I don't necessarily,
I don't want those.
I don't know that those are all of the messages. So what we're trying to nail down is the information. I mean, they have these. These have been produced. I can see in our files. These have been produced. I don't exactly know what he is looking at. I know the nature of the emails, the nature of the team's messages that are the source of consternation for Mr. Tellis has nothing to do with an attorney-client privilege. It has nothing to do with, something that would be privileged to the public administration's office. It just deals with something else. So.
What's the privilege?
Again, too, it could go into bad care. Well, we need to see what a privilege was previously asserted or not. It's the state's argument, and I understand their argument. They're saying that Mr. Tellis, by his request, opened the door. As we addressed yesterday, Mr. Tellis is testifying in a narrative sense. We put the court on notice. The court had allowed that to occur.
Sure.
My concern is we would like to pull up on the jabs or otherwise what specific request he had made. There may have been a misunderstanding on the part of the state what it was that he was asking to have admitted. We want the break to go through that because it's the scope of what his request was. Obviously, it wasn't in response to a question or request that I had made. It was actually made by Mr. Tellis. But again, I'd like to see that on the video, which we'll be able to address over the lunch break, because I think it's concerning a scope of the production.
Well, what do you think it was, Mr. Draskowitz? I mean, because it appeared to me as though, just a minute, it appeared to me as though he was requesting the witness that came and testified and talked about that production that was about to happen, I don't know, in the first part of September. I mean, that appeared to be what he was asking the state to put on a disc and produce.
Yeah. So what I was requesting to be produced is actually what was produced to me.
Counsel.
Okay.
In support of what was going to produce to Mr. Gurman. And so any and all, messages of any personal nature, in the review of the documents that I saw, and anything personal, like, talk about perhaps going to the mall or whatever, that was already removed by the time I viewed it. So when Mr. Hamner is coming here with these messages, that was pre-trimmed. So I believe he's going to say that, look, this is why Mr. Tellis decided he was going to be angry, but that's not true, because the version that I saw had already trimmed out all these personal messages. So it's misleading the jury about what Roberta testified to.
Being trimmed out. You mean
So
by the
basically,
county?
yeah, Clark County has a policy where they run it through various personnel, because their policy is to only produce business records.
Okay.
No matter what. They do not allow for the production in public records requests for messages of anything of a personal nature.
Is still.
And so, again, I believe it's in bad faith that Mr. Hamner is trying to show the original production and not what I personally saw. Because what I saw had nothing that referenced the mall or anything like that. And, and if Ms. Kennett, Lee Kennett, had any such concern, she would have said the same thing. She would have said, well, yeah, I had a concern with this. But clearly, she saw the same messages I did. We saw no concern because personal messages had already been stripped out. And now we're at the point where Mr. Hammer's trying to mislead the jury about what I saw.
And obviously this predates this gentleman being charged. This predates. We're not talking about production through the course of discovery in a criminal case. And this obviously predated this case. So we're talking about back when Mr. Tellis was at the public administrator's office, what he was given, what he saw, and I think that goes to the very point. It's referring to what his knowledge was back in that time, and that's why we want to address the scope of what it is the state intends to produce.
Mr. Hanley?
Our position is we have these text messages. It's not about taking a walk. Look, we'll call it out for what it is. I mean, it is. They are romantic messages between those two. Okay, I mean that's the reality of it. That's what's in the team's messages. I have team's messages here that contain that. They may be right. Maybe there is another version of this, but the team's message that we have, that we've produced to them, contain this information. Mr. Tellis got on the stand, and when he told this jury, he was like, oh, I looked at those team's messages, and I didn't have any issues with it. I'd like them all admitted. He did not put them together on a USB drive or anything, right? They did not come here and say, and here they are. They didn't produce them to us for us to review to see if there was any sort of discrepancy. I said, we have the team's messages, we can add them, and now they're reviewing, and that's fine, like if we want to get clarity on this, but clearly it changes the tenor of everything, right? And listen, if he looks at the jury and says, oh, I was totally fine with those messages, and let's say they missed them. What if they read them and they missed a couple of instances where they were telling each other how they felt about each other? You know what I mean? Then that's a misstep on his part. Now listen, if it wasn't produced, and there's some county law that's out there that doesn't allow that, but if we think about what the FOIA request, which we actually have here from Mr. Garman, which has been admitted, which was we want all team's messages between Roberta and Mr. Tellis, and all of his articles when raising her has to do with the inappropriate affair. It seems to me that absent, some attorney-client for some applicable privilege, it is beyond me how that would somehow be pulled out.
And the door's open.
And again, didn't the request ask for communication between
all
those
communications.
two?
He wanted personal text messages. He wanted Teams messages. He wanted emails. And he said from January of 2022 till this request is filled. And these messages appear in February and March and roughly around there. I don't know it all off the top of my head. I mean, I have excerpts of them. I have a paper version of excerpts of them as well, if the court would like to look at it. But I don't have any objection with trying to get to the bottom of, did DA Civil really claw back, the romantic messages? I don't have an issue with doing that. But we need time, and I don't want my cross to start without this clarity.
And again, as to the scope, there was testimony, and I would submit that his testimony, his narrative testimony, and that of Lee Kennett was similar in that in August of 2022, there wasn't an issue. Apparently, both he had seen what was going to be turned over to Mr. Garman, and she did too, and there were no concerns. So my concern is what the state is attempting to present to the jury is outside of the scope of what my client's knowledge was at that point in time.
They both saw what was going to be produced?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this. This guy got on the stand and said, I want every team's message admitted, but I haven't really compiled it. State, little help? Here's the team's messages that we have. And now we have a problem with them. And again, I reiterate, I am okay with taking the time to try to delve in to see.
Okay, but how much? 30 minutes? We can break till 1 o'clock?
I don't know if it lasts that long. My thought would be, can we take a lunch break? Because if it takes
that's what I'm saying. It's 12:30?
Yeah.
Just take 30 more minutes till 1 o'clock?
That's fine. Yeah, you're right.
1:15?
Sure.
We can attempt to.
1:15. All right, we'll see you guys at 1:15 then. But we brought lunch in already, so we'll just let the jury eat now.
There goes the judge. Now we get another lunch. Well, another break. Another lunch break. Mr. Tellis is frantically trying to claw back from a position he took on the stand. And I think the prosecutor had an argument to be made that they broached a little bit, but probably should have focused on a little bit more. The whole idea about the door being opened is very, very important. It's not just that Mr. Tellis got on the stand and said, "Hey, take a look at all those Teams messages. You have them, State? Yeah, I want them all brought in. Look at there. There's no motive for murder there. I don't see motive for murder." Okay, so that they were admitted. The State says, "Yeah, we'll submit those for you. We'll help you out. Of course we will. We've been trying to get at this for a while." He brought it in. It was accepted. The court accepted it. They're in evidence. Now they're trying to claw back and say, but personal one's out. How do you do that? You can't. But the bigger thing is that Mr. Tellis said, check them. There's no motive here. Trying to hide an affair, I think we can agree, would be motive for murder. And if he's trying to say, oh, look at all these messages, but not the ones that make me look bad, it would be inappropriate to take that out. He's opened the door to that, first of all, saying, I'm a good guy. I'm a family guy. I look at everything, but not that. No, the door's been opened. I think the State has every right and ability to go in and go through that and prove where, on Teams messages, we see that there's a Mr. Tellis that we don't know. That's a little bit different than what we've been looking at before. Okay. Audio-wise, we are at lunch, so that means that audio feeds are all going to get messed up because that's what they do. Let's see. We've got half an hour. 30 minutes for lunch will end up being over an hour. It probably is. It probably is. Are you guys good to take a break? Let me first make a portal. We'll portal to this afternoon's after lunch section because I don't know how long that's going to go. Let's see, we were on day 7, part 2 was what it's going to be. This cross is going to be so spicy. You know it's going to be good. I just cannot wait. Okay, so they said they're going to wait for half an hour. That'll take us to 2 o'clock Mountain. Also, we're only going to take about a 20-minute break. Is that all right? If we go to about 1:55, we'll start there. Okay, I've got the thumbnail for the next segment that covers after lunch with cross-examination built. I'll build a portal so it'll take us over there. So if you just want to stay here, it'll remind you to just make the jump if that works. But I want to talk about this just a tiny bit before we go. I'm blown away by this. I have never seen some of the things we're seeing. First of all, we have a client who is represented by counsel, standing up in court, making arguments in front of the judge. Why? Why does that happen? Okay, we're set up. We've got the portal set up. Message came in from from Amber. Says LNC said something this morning about lawyers wanting to leave because they knew he was not going to be truthful. Okay, they were probably talking about the narrative. Hey, Mrs. R.A., welcome home. They were probably talking about Mr. Tellis testifying in the narrative form. I'm going to go back here just for a minute. We're going to I might have to play some calming music. Let's do maybe this one. Deep breath. Okay. I think they were talking about Mr. Tellis testifying in the narrative form because they cannot suborn perjury. They can't ask the question where they know their client is going to give a lie. Then they would have to, by their oath to the court, they would have to stop the testimony and say, Your Honor, actually what my client just said on the stand is a lie. They don't want to be in that situation. They think he's going to lie on the stand. They say, we want no part of this. We'll wash our hands of this. He's just going to testify and we'll stand over here and smile nicely to ourselves and pretend none of this happened and wish we had other careers. So that's probably what they were talking about in that regard. Anything else, they have a duty for, candor to the court. They would have to tell the truth. But this way they can sort of get around that. This cracked me up during his testimony. We did play that. He had a sob story, and he timed it perfectly to the music as well. Let's see. I think he purposely made the 6'5" lie, so he's way different height from the killer. Why would anyone buy it? Oh, Beach Lover. I'm going to turn the music off here because it's going to put me to sleep. Beach Lover, you're saying that he purposefully misspoke to say he's 6'5", because then the jury would say, "Oh, that wasn't a 6'5" killer." That's next level. That's like Inception level misdirection, if that's what it was. I think it was just a misspeak. Let's see. Tellis on the stand, flashback. The music. We first used that music during the Mark Jensen trial when his lawyer got up and was telling a sob story about your son just spread feces all over the bathroom. Crazy trial there as well. And the snot bubbling up. That was that testimony. Oh, DeVince Baum, more. Sorry, I just saw this. Oh my goodness, this is every parent's fears that their kid gets put on the wrong bus and gets sent to the wrong part of the county, and heaven forbid they get off the bus and then you don't know where they are. 30 minutes of terror. I'm glad you've got some resolution and found them. Here's where we are. Mr. Tellis is about to be cross-examined. It's coming. He cannot stop this train. This is the second part of what happened. And when he said, "I want to take the stand and testify in my own defense," part of that is he has to answer these questions by the prosecution, and they have a list of questions. The jury has a list of questions. They were anxious. They were hopping up and down like, Judge, we have questions. She's like, you have to wait till after the prosecutors go because they might ask the questions you have. But we have prosecutors' questions, we have jury questions, and then maybe some redirect where he gets to speak again, and then maybe more cross and more jury questions. We've seen several times in this court where the direct, redirect, cross, recross, that circle sort of just goes on endless repeat a little bit. Pamela the Camel says, "I'm having popcorn for lunch." He was on the bus. Man, crazy. All right. Everyone has questions. They will be answered after the break. Until then, we're going to play some music. We're going to give you guys a little bit of time to get up, stretch a little bit, bring some more popcorn, get a snack, get a friend. Please come back. We're going to watch this together live as this happens. I'm going to grab a salad, I think, if I can eat it really, really quickly. Grab a salad. We'll be back here right before 2 o'clock, which means we have about 20 minutes or about 15 minutes before we come back. Join us in chat beforehand. There's a lot of friends there you'll see that you found here. They're over there now, so please join us there as we continue Day 7, Part 2 of the Robert Tellis trial. This should be the end. This should be the final witness. After this, we have closing arguments and jury instructions. Verdict watch could be tonight. I'm so excited. You guys, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again in about 15 minutes. We'll be live with Part 2 of Robert Tellis on the stand. Cross-examination is coming up. We'll see you guys in a bit.